morning, class. How are you guys doing today? Good? All right, awesome. So do you guys remember how on Monday we wrote what we did over spring break? Yes, you remember? All right, so what we're going to do today, we are going to learn what needs to be capitalized and punctuation marks, because we're going to go back with our drafts that we wrote from Monday and we are going to fix it today. So I'm going to go over what needs to be capitalized and punctuation marks. So first off, can anybody tell me what this is? Awesome, it is a mint. And what is so important about the mint? Awesome, so the letters in the mint can help us remember what needs to be capitalized. So how do you spell mints? Awesome, so let's say it together. Ready? M-I-N-T-S. Mints. Everybody say mints. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Mints. So these letters can help us remember what needs to be capitalized while we are writing. Alright, so we're going to go through each one. We went over this before you guys went to spring break, so this is just a refresher for you guys, okay? So the letter M in months. So that means if you're writing a month within your paper, that needs to be capitalized. The first letter of the month needs to be capitalized. Now the next letter is I. So if you're saying I love to swim in your paper, the letter I needs to be capitalized. Okay? Or if you're using I just by itself, that needs to be capitalized. Alright, the next thing is N for names. So if you're writing your name in your paper, or if you're writing your brother's name or your sister's name, that needs to be capitalized. Or if you're saying street names, or if you went to a country, or if you went to a certain state over spring break, that needs to be capitalized as well, okay? Now for T, for titles. So if you watched a movie, that is a title. Or if you read a book, that is a title. So that needs to be capitalized as well, whatever the title is of that you watched or that you read, okay? Now the next letter is S. So the start of sentences. This is really important because this goes with the next thing that we're going to learn today. So if you put a period at the end of your sentence, that first letter after that sentence needs to be capitalized, okay? So we're going to go through a little bit more today, okay? So next, I'm going to show you guys something on this board. See if this marker works. So let's use this marker. So I'm going to write a lowercase letter and a capital letter, okay? And you're going to tell me whatever letter I write, if it's capitalized or if it's a lowercase, okay? So for example, let's write that just a little bit bigger so everyone can see. So, what letter is that? A, good job. So is that a lowercase letter or is that capitalized? Awesome, so it is a lowercase letter. So the capitalized letter of A looks like this, right? Alright, so let's try a different letter. Let's try this. So, what letter is this? D. Awesome. So that is the letter D. Now, is that a lowercase letter or is that an uppercase letter? Lowercase. Good job. So the capitalized letter of D looks like this. So it's different. Okay? Let's try one more. You guys are getting the hang of it. Okay. Now, is that a capitalized letter or is that a lowercase letter? Awesome, that is a capitalized letter. So with the lowercase letter, It looks like that. So they look different, okay? So we have to make sure that we know which one is capitalized and which one is a lowercase, okay? So let's try something else. So we're also going to learn punctuation marks. So you guys have probably learned this before. So let's see, we're just going to go a little bit more deeper into it, okay? So I'm going to do a punctuation mark. I'm going to write it on the board, and you're going to tell me if it's a period, if it's a question mark, or if it's an exclamation point, okay? So let's start with this. All right, so what is that called? Awesome, that is called a period. All right, now there's two more that we need to learn about, okay? So this is called a period. Okay, what about this? A question mark, good job. So this is called a question mark. So this you typically put at the end of sentences if you're asking a question. We're going to go a little bit more into it in a little bit. And then there's one more that we need to know. Awesome, that is an exclamation point. So exclamation point. So usually you put these three symbols at the end of sentences. So if you put this at the end of a sentence, that's really exciting, or something that's really exciting. All right, so I want to show you guys something right here. And so these are the three different types of sentences that we are going to learn today. So one, declarative. So those are sentences that tell us a statement. So all of those sentences will end with a period. Now, interrogative sentences. Those sentences ask a question and it always ends with a question mark. And the last one is exclamatory. So those sentences usually typically show excitement and it ends with an exclamation point. All right, good. So we learned what needs to be capitalized and the types of sentences. So we're going to practice a little bit, okay? So I'm going to erase this. We're going to practice it together. We're going to use, these boards are going to be up for you guys because you guys are going to be using that to help you. So we're going to go through this. All right. Can everybody see that? Awesome. So I'm going to make sure that everybody can see this. All right. So this says, I will swim. All right. So there's some things that needs to be changed. So I'm going to use my red marker to fix it. So I will swim. I'm going to use this. Is there a month in my sentence? No. Is there a letter I in my sentence? Yes. So I'm going to use my red marker and I'm going to write over the I. And I'm going to make it a big I because it says I will swim. And that is the start of a sentence. Do I have a name? No. Do I have a title? No. Is it start of a sentence? Yes. And that was, I added the I to it. Now, there's some punctuation that I need to add to this sentence. So, does it tell a statement? Yeah, so it tells a statement. So I'm going to add a period at the end of the sentence because it is a telling sentence. So I use the red marker to edit my sentence. Okay, so now we are going to do this together. The sentence says, I love to go to school. All right, so I'm going to use my chart. Is there a month? No. Is there a letter I? Yes, there is a letter I. So I'm going to change it with my red marker. I love to go to school. Now, is there a name? There's not a name. Is there a title? No. Is this a start of a sentence? Yes, it is a start of a sentence. So that is why I added the capitalized letter I. Now let's go with our punctuation. Now, is there punctuation at the end of a sentence? No, there's not. So does this tell a question? No, this does not tell a question. Is this an exciting? It could be an exciting because you're saying, I love to go to school. So we're going to take it as that. We're going to say, I love to go to school. So we're going to write an exclamation point at the end of the sentence. So, and there we go. We fixed our sentence. All right, so one more we're going to do together, and then I'm going to ask for a volunteer to come help me. All right, this sentence says, my favorite food is spaghetti. All right, so let's go. Let's see, is there a month? No. Is there an I? There's not an I. Is there a name? There's not a name. Good job. Now, is there a title? No. So is there a start of a sentence? Yes, this my is the start of a sentence. Good job. So we're going to change this to capitalize M. Okay? My favorite food is spaghetti. So let's see. Is that a telling statement? Good job. That is a telling statement. So we're going to add a period at the end of the sentence. So good job. Now, I'm going to ask for a volunteer. If you're sitting quietly, crisscross applesauce, I will choose you to volunteer. All right, so how about you come up and you come fix the sentence, all right? All right, so this is the starting sentence. So the student will write over it to make that capitalized. Now, the letter I, so the student will write over the letter I to make it capitalized. Now, this is a question, so the student will write a question mark at the end of the sentence, and that is how the student will edit this. All right. Now, so what you guys are going to do is that you guys are going to go back to your desk, and each desk has 4 people in it. So you guys are going to be in groups of 4. So what we're going to do an activity, and so each group is going to have this poster board, and you're going to have a baggie, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to lay this flat on your desk, and you're going to read these sentences with your group. So let's do one together. So the first one says, I have a basketball game tonight. So in your baggie, you're going to empty this out. And you see that there are some mistakes in this sentence. There's things that we need to edit and fix in each of these sentences. So for example, the letter I needs to be fixed. So I found the capitalized letter I. So all you're going to do is you're just going to place it over it just like this flat. Also in your baggie, you're going to have punctuation marks. And you're going to see, is this sentence a declarative sentence? Is this sentence an interrogative sentence? Or is this sentence an exclamatory sentence? So you're going to determine, does it need a period, a question mark, or exclamation point with your group? And you're going to pull it out of this baggie, and you're going to place it at the end of each sentence. All right? So while the students are working at their desk, and they're working with their group members at this activity, this is the time where I will go around the tables and I will make sure that the students are on task, and I will make sure that they are understanding. And if I see a student, if they're struggling or if they're not really helping their team members, then I'm going to go and I'm going to work with them one-on-one, and I'm going to see how I can help them and see what they're not understanding. So that is the time during this activity that I'm going to have them do that. So the last thing is for the assessment part. So on Monday, the students wrote, so once the students are done with the activity, so the students will write, they will go back through their rough draft that they wrote on Monday, and they are going to use a red marker, or if there's no more red markers, they are going to use a blue marker, and they are going to go through, just like this activity. They are going to go back through their sentence, and they are going to fix it. They are going to use this anchor chart to see what needs to be fixed, what needs to be capitalized, and if they added the correct punctuation marks at the end of their sentences. So that will be their assessment, and when they come in and turn in their assessment to me, I will go through it, and I will make sure that the capitalized letters are correct, and that the punctuation marks are correct. And if there's extra time left at the end of a class, the student must rewrite their rough draft on a new paper. And so the new papers look like this. So the new papers look like this. So the student must rewrite their sentence for their final draft, and they must draw a picture of what they did over spring break. So that is how they're going to, just if there's extra time to write their final draft, but really what I'm looking for is if they have their rough draft completed correctly, and edited correctly with their mints and capitalization and their punctuation mark. So, class, today we learned about what needs to be capitalized. So we learned about that months need to be capitalized. We learned that the letter I needs to be capitalized. We learned that names need to be capitalized. Titles and start of sentences all need to be capitalized within your sentence. And we also learned the different types of sentences. And so we learned about periods, question marks, and exclamation points. And so that is what we learned today. And you guys completed your rough draft and you guys edited it. And so that is all.